Sunday, December 8th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the President's Grounds. Get ready for Caribbean Carols by Candlelight. It is happening with quite the list, and this morning to tell us more about it, Barbara Alleyne, the chairperson for Carols by Candlelight, joins us on the Now Morning Show this morning. Good morning,
good morning,
and welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Do we begin to say season's greetings? I feel
yes, it started that since last week.
Well, you did, because I haven't said it to anyone just yet. But it felt apt, because nothing like Caribbean Carols by Candlelight to create that sort of atmosphere.
Actually, we have adopted this from the Australians.
Interesting, right?
Caribbean Carols by Candlelight started off from a gentleman who worked a night shift and was on his way home. When he saw someone about my age lying on a tista bed with a candle, and she was singing a Christmas carol all by herself. And he stopped and he watched. And when he got back into work, he encouraged the other workers that they should do something about this next Christmas. And what they then did was had carols by candlelight, making sure that the persons who couldn't go out, that they were exposed to something, and they started it off. And it's being held in Barbados.
Right.
Very high cost of $300, to attend at the Prime Minister's residence. That's where it's held.
Right, but this version in Trinidad is not as costly, for sure.
No, we just asked for a donation.
Correct, and it carries the same sentiment in the sense of making sure that we continue the carols.
Yes.
Now, we understand why it's called Caribbean Carols by Candlelight, if Australians have to make the distinction.
And we started first.
Right, but will we actually have Caribbean carols, or will it be a traditional?
I have been trying to put together, and I promise that next year, how we are going to try to do it is to get some of our carols that were written by and sung by our artists in Trinidad and Tobago particularly, and the rest of the Caribbean, that makes it Caribbean Carols by Candlelight.
That I love. For now, though, in terms of the cast, it is very Caribbean.
Yes, it is.
So we will be hearing from Bishop's Anstey High School and quite a few others.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit as to the way that the show will actually run. Do we know an opener already that we could at least tell the people?
Well, we do have an opener, but I leave that to Celia Scott to give the surprises when we start off.
Of course, that is one of your masters of ceremony, along with Robert Williams.
Yes.
And in terms of the actual grounds itself, how will that be set up? We're looking at a sitting situation. We have room to dance.
It's sitting. It's sitting. And this is why it cost us quite a bit, because we have to pay. We get very little donations. So we have to pay for stage, and we have to pay for tents, and we have to pay for seating, and we have to pay for everything. So that we ask for contribution from the public when they come in.
Right. And there will also be ways that they can also patronize other things, because I realize you'll have food and drinks on sale too.
Yes, well.
So we'll have performances.
Hamburger, hot dog, yes.
Right, we have some eats and drinks.
And soft drinks.
But it's definitely family inclusive. The soft drinks is what I saw. There will be a non-alcoholic bar
as well. It's a non-alcoholic bar.
Making sure that the reason for the season is at forefront. Now, this one is actually happening from 6 to 8 p.m.
Yes.
We are seeing this being decades of Carols by Candlelight. What will be different, let's say, just in comparison to the previous year?
It would be some of the artists. You know that we have Kevin Hutchins, that has always been from the very beginning, but he's not keeping well these days, so he will not be able to attend. So we have a couple changes of those who are coming in to present and assist us. But Bishop Anstey is supporting us all the way as usual. And they have the chiper, the pans. We make sure we have pan there all the time. That our pan must be in anything that we do.
Absolutely.
And with the president being able to support us, again, as you know, it's usually patronized by the president.
Right.
So we look forward to having her again and her husband, so that we're going to have a nice evening.
We certainly will.
Yes.
I see Santa Rosa Parang is always also going to be there, so that we have a nice mix of vocal performances throughout. the classic
Yes.
as well as the parang. You've mentioned the pan as well, and in terms of those contributions, are we talking about making contributions at the door or in advance? How do we get there?
Well, we ask for contribution at the door, which is a small amount, because the candles cost us, it's electronic candles. We do not want any candles lit. We do not want any cause of having fires, so that we have the electronic candles that they would make a donation
Towards the
for,
purchase
yes.
of. You get to keep these, yes?
Yes, of course they do.
Right. And in terms of one of the few messages, or many messages, sorry, that will be shared on that night, what would you hope that patrons take away from this event?
Togetherness, peace and love. The things that we need now, particularly, it really means something to us. We should have a peaceful night. We should all be able to come out and get back home safely. This is all I ask for. This is what we look forward for. So many people would be afraid to come out. And I'm kindly asking for the young gentlemen that may be a little restless, if they can stay home and permit us to have a good evening.
We are heading to the President's Ground on Sunday, the 8th of December, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Caribbean Carols by Candlelight. And you can be a part of it for just a small donation, making sure that these lights are a glimmer of hope in this Christmas season. Thank you very much to Chairperson for Carols by Candlelight, Ms. Barbara Alleyne, joining us this morning. Best of luck with the event.
Thank you so much.
And for those of you at home, you have many ways to celebrate the Christmas season with us here on The Now. Stick around. We have more after the face commercial break.